the new phone that the Simpatico employees will be receiving when they move. It's a VIA 9650 set. It's a relatively new set. When you get to the new location, if you're identified as a headset user, you'll have this cord already plugged into your phone. So you'll unpack your headset, and then you'll just make your connection back right here, and you'll be ready to go. Now I'll just go ahead and leave that connected. So the biggest thing that you'll see, Simpatico staff, their non-call center, they won't have some of these buttons. This particular model that we have built as a test phone is going to show buttons that a call center agent or a CSR, as Simpatico refers to, would have. But the functions and features are all the same. The buttons, the hard buttons on the side, now they're down here, and we'll go over those. Kind of the things to note to get oriented. You have the 4 black soft, we call these soft buttons when they're displayed up here. And then you have 4 black hard buttons down here. Those are a relationship there. And then you have another row of 4 white buttons, and that equals this row of 4 white buttons. And then you have a bottom row of 4 white buttons, and that equals this row of 4 white buttons. So if I'm going to hit redial up here, this is not a touch screen. I have to find that associated button. I know it's the top left black button. If I hit redial, I'll go ahead and drop that. So just to kind of get you oriented, these buttons will change depending on what you're doing, and we'll get into that a little bit later. You have your headset button is over here. Your volume button is right here. Your volume button control, if you're on hook and you don't have your headset on, the volume button controls the ring, the audible ring that you hear when you're at your desk. So we can pump up that ring if you really want to upset your neighbors, or if you want to be a nice neighbor and pump your ring down, you can do that. When you go off hook, and you use the volume control buttons, you're actually controlling what you hear. So if you're talking to a member or a customer and they seem very loud, you can pump that volume down or up if they're really soft. Same way on a headset. If you're actually using a headset and you have the headset button depressed here, if it's really loud to you, you can pump that volume down, or if the person is speaking is really soft, you can pump that volume up. So this volume button is controlling whatever function you're using at the time. So I'm going to go ahead and hang that up. The menu button right here is a button that you're probably not going to use much. It's more for troubleshooting, and it has some IP configuration stuff. Contacts, I'm not going to go in that too much, but you can build your own personal contacts. Call log, I've made some test calls. It'll log calls. In my particular logs, they show an arrow out, which means I made an outbound call from this phone. And as you make and take calls, this log, you can keep paging down to see, there's not much. And down here is your speaker button. Again, if you're in a private office, something you might use. If you're out in a cubicle, you're probably not using speaker too much. The phone button it's kind of like a home button. If you get in trouble, if you get in over here and you accidentally press the menu button and you're like, what is this? I'm not used to seeing this. Phone always takes you home. So if you ever get in a spot where you're like, I didn't push that button and I don't know how to get my main screen back, your phone button will always take you home. The back end of the system is still the same Avaya system. Nothing else changes. Just basically the phone is changing. I mean, your voicemail is the same. Your light is for your voicemail is right up here. This will light up in this corner. And also, there's a little envelope with a message that will light up as well. So you'll actually have 2 lights that light up if you have a voicemail message. Again, there's no changes being made to the voicemail system, which recently changed, other than the orientation of your light. If you get a message, it'll light up or it'll show in your email inbox, the same as it always has. To get to voicemail, just press that message button. It doesn't have to be lit. If you have saved messages, you can press that this message button. But if you press it from your desk and you have your voicemail set up, it'll say your name, your mailbox, enter your password, just like it always has. Probably the biggest change, the old phone, a hard button on the side here for conference, transfer, and hold. They don't have those hard buttons anymore. They became soft buttons. So that really catches people. What they'll do is, I'm going to have you watch this screen up here. I'm just going to make a test call. You'll see this actually change when you're on a call, regardless if you make the call or take the call. So I'm going to go off hook so you don't hear this speaker. So I just placed a test call here, and now if you look, you will see your hold, conference, transfer, and drop buttons. So at this point, I'm able to place a caller on hold by pressing this button here. If I want to bring the call back, it's resume, the caller that I just placed on hold. So remember, hold equals resume. Before, you just hit the hold button and hit the button again. Conference, they changed the verbiage on us again. So I'm going to go ahead and place a test conference call here by bringing my extension. But I want you to watch right up here on these black buttons how it changes. You used to hit conference, number, and then conference again to bring your conference together. But the word is going to change to join. So now I've added a third call on, and to complete that conference I have to press the join button right here, this black button. Now I've brought all three parties together. So I'm going to go ahead and drop these calls. So conference, number, then join. Join is the word that you got to hit. You got to find that button and hit join to bring it together. Transfer is something I know a lot of the CSRs are probably doing in sabbatical, transferring to other VDN numbers or routing queue numbers, but it's going to be the same principle. Regardless if I take a call or make a call, you won't see that until you're actually on the line with somebody. So here we go. I'm going to place a test call here. Pick the handset up. Now you'll see the buttons here. So I've got a two-way line established. Now I determine I need to transfer that call, say, to member services. I'm going to make this transfer by pressing transfer, and I'm going to dial my number that I'm transferring to. Now my keyword is complete. I have to complete the transfer. So based on, if I just hit complete right now, that is considered a cold transfer. So I'm just going to make a cold transfer. So now I've completed that transfer. If you want to make it a soft transfer where you actually present the party, you would not hit complete till you are actually talking to the person you are transferring them to. Once you said, I've got Mary on the phone, I'm going to send her your way, then you would hit the complete button to complete that transfer. That's what catches up the most people when they change to this model of phone from the 4621 phone that you were on, is the conference, transfer, and hold functions. So now we'll kind of get into more agent-specific settings, stuff that these buttons should look familiar to you. They're just in a different orientation than what you're used to, but we have log in, log out, auto in, aux work, after call, view display, release. These are all buttons that you were controlling on the side of your old phone that you'll be using now. You'll just be using these buttons below the screen. We're going to go ahead and log in. I just have a test agent ID, and I'm going to do it on speaker. You're probably going to go ahead and do it. You're going to do it with a headset, but I'm just going to do it on speaker. The first thing you would hit headset. I'm going to hit speaker. I'm going to go to log in. You hear your 3-beep confirmation tone that you're logged in, and now the system automatically puts you in aux work right here. This red light is lit. This button is associated with aux work, so you know that you have logged in, but you're not eligible to take a call. When your shift starts and you want to become eligible to take queued calls, you're going to go to auto in, which you're all familiar with, and you'll simply press this button, auto in, and now you're logged into the queue. And then if you go on break, you're going to press aux work, and then it's going to ask you for a reason code, whatever you've worked out with your supervisor. I'm just going to pick number 1 right here, and now it allows me to go back to aux work. So I can go on my break, I can go to lunch, I can go to a meeting, I come back, I go back to auto in, and now I'm back in. At the end of the day, I can go ahead and log out, and you get your confirmation tone that you logged out. You may or may not use after call depending on how your supervisors want you to use it, but it's the same button that's on your old phone. You would use it the same way with view display. Something that's interesting about CBH, they have some straight emergency lines. They're just straight stations that are bridged appearances on their phone, and you saw that on your main page on your old phone, but to get to those lines, you actually have to hit the shift button right here. This shift button will take you to I'm going to call it the second page. Now I just have some test numbers right here, but just to show you that when you get to the new site on your new phone, those appearances will still be there, but they'll be on the second page. So if a call comes in, and I'm going to place a test call to it, you'll actually see your last line appearance will light here, but that's not really your real line appearance. You see where the shift button is lit up. If you come over here, you see how this is blackened out. That's telling you that there's a call that's coming in on that emergency line. But you don't have to shift it. You can take the call right here and complete that call. So just wanted to show you guys, you got like 2 pages of menu buttons. Shift kind of takes you to page 2. Probably you're not using much on this page, but when a call comes in, this shift light will let you know that there's a call coming in on the second page on one of your emergency lines. So I'm going to get back to the home page. Your mute button down here, we already I think we've done a pretty good job of giving you the basics, and I think this is a good overview to get you guys going. Thanks. Take care.